Okay, now we start. First of all, we say Namaskari. Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome you. Thank you for your coming here. Last few weeks, we were discussing about some topics. Especially, we discussed about the happiness, how we get the happiness, how we remove the suffering. We discussed those topics. First of all, I would like to say something, Mr. Mark. You asked me that why we observe 5 precepts and why we show our homage to the Buddha. Actually, it is not essential thing that as Buddhism, first we respect the Buddha, who is the spiritual teacher, and also we respect his message, what he taught to the world, and we respect to his disciples, his followers, noble disciples like monks. That is the first step of our activities in Buddhist tradition. Actually, it is only a tradition. We follow that tradition. But not only tradition, but also after we are going to refuge Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, the triple gem. After that, we observe 5 precepts. We try to escape from, we try to avoid from killing beings and stealing, telling lies, taking some drinks. We are going to remove those activities, and that is the foundation of the going to the practice the Buddha's message. Then we have good discipline. It is very easy to practice the way which is the purification. That is why we practice, we observe some 5 precepts. Those are very good foundation as a beginner. When we have a lot of mistakes in our life, then it is very difficult to practice our mind. We have bad activities in our behavior or speech, then we can't believe in our mental concentration. Before mental concentration or tranquility, first of all, we should have good discipline. That is why we are going to observe 5 precepts. Last days we discussed about the happiness. What is the happiness and how we get the happiness, how we remove from suffering. Those topics we were discussing last weeks. Then again I would like to explain you something about the summary of the Buddhism. The main purpose of Buddhism is happiness. Main purpose of Buddhism is happiness. Actually, as I mentioned in last week, Mrs. Pam, you can remember, the practice in Buddhism means practice in mind. Practice in mind means practice in awareness or mindfulness. Practice in awareness means practice in happiness. In the other side, practice in Buddha's message means really practice in happiness. The happiness is the final goal of all beings who was born here. For the happiness, we have to practice the spiritual person's doctrine. Especially when we discuss the Buddha's message, actually we can divide it into 3 steps. You can remember? Actually we discussed it in last few weeks that the Buddha's message focus first the success in this life itself. Education, economy, health and morality or virtue. That is the first step as a person who is intelligent, who has a good discipline, even though he or she hasn't a religion or special teaching. Every person should try to practice these 4 steps for the success in this life itself. There are 4 things. That is, here we are describing the summary of the Buddhism. The summary of Buddhism. The first thing is the success of. If my pronunciation is different, please apologize to me.
It's fine.
Yeah, the success of this life. There are a lot of teachings in Buddhism how we succeed in this short life itself. Especially there are 4 things that we have to practice in this life. Even though if a person hasn't a religion, everybody should try to practice these 4 steps, 4 things for the success of this life. What they are? First one is education. First one is education. The second one is economy. The third one is health. The fourth one is virtue. Those 4 things are very important. A person who wishes to succeed in this life itself. Anybody, if a person hasn't a religion or not, everybody should try to practice these 4 things for the success of this life. That is why the parents especially encourage their children to learn something or study in the name of education. That is the first step, education. If we have no good education, actually it is very difficult to succeed in this life. All of you know it, especially in the USA. We should have a good education for the success. That is the first step. There are a lot of teachings in Buddhism how we go forward with the good education. The second one is economy. Actually, when we are going to study something, we should have some sort of knowledge how we earn money. There are some ways, there are some jobs that people can earn some money in bad way, in wrong way. But Buddhism never said. When you study something, you should have some knowledge how you earn money in future. That is why most people like the righteous education, for the righteous economy, righteous jobs. Therefore, for the success of this life, we should have good economical foundation in this life. Buddha explained very clearly how we earn money. Actually, there are a lot of ways to earn money, but we should be honest when we earn money. And there are some people who are in the society, they earn money a lot in the wrong way, but end of their life, they will be worried because of their wrong ways, how we earn money. Therefore, all things we do for the happiness. If we have no happiness, although we have a lot of money, those money is useless. Therefore, we should have good knowledge how we earn money. When we are growing up with the financial situation, that we have good knowledge and that we should be righteous or honest. The third one is health. Although we have good education, although we have good economical foundation, if we are sick, if we are suffering with diseases, actually all those education and economy is useless. That is why it is emphasized in Buddhism that health also very important. Especially we should have good knowledge when we eat something, what we eat, and especially our physical health. We should consider our physical health. Actually, Buddhism discusses not only physical health but also mental health. Most people who are in the world, physically they are healthy, but mentally most of people are not healthy. Therefore, we have to consider not only physical healthy but also mental healthy. The third one is virtue or morality or virtuous life, good disciplined life. You know, the people who are in the society, who are the well-educated people, even though they have no religion, even though they are not going to the church, most people who are well-educated people in the society, they have good discipline. They spend a moral life, virtuous life. That is very useful for success and happiness. Then there are a lot of teachings in Buddhism how we practice these four things in the name of success in this life. Even though a person, whether believe or not about rebirth, hereafter, every person in the society, they like the success in this life. Therefore, when we consider the Buddha's message in Buddhism, these four things are very important to succeed in this life. That is the first step in Buddhism. Now we are discussing the summary of Buddhism. Now Mr. Mark always you try to read the Buddha's message. Actually, when we read a lot of discourses in Tripitaka, actually we can find out a lot of teachings for these topics. If you have a young sort of understanding of the summary in Buddhism, then it is very easy to understand when we read something. When you read some discourse, suddenly you can understand here it is about education or economy or health or virtue. You can understand what is said in that discourse. That is why I am describing here the summary of Buddhism. The second one is, if a person can succeed these four things, but here we don't stop. We go forward. More than next, we are going to next step. What is the next step that Buddhism says?
Is it truth?
Truth. Yeah, truth also can be adjusted here. But success of this life, success of
the
next life, hereafter, next birth. The success of next birth. Success of next birth. Actually, we have a life not only here but also hereafter. We spend a lot of previous lives in our previous period. Not only here we spend, but also we are going to hereafter. Then For the success of hereafter, we have to practice another 3 things. We have to practice the good qualities, meritorious deeds, or merits for the success of next birth. Actually, when we practice these things, now we are going to discuss these 3 steps here. Actually, when we practice these things, we will be succeeded not only hereafter. When we practice these meritorious deeds in this life, we are happy in this life itself. Here, there are 3 steps. Can you remember?
Generosity.
Oh, very good. Generosity. Generosity. Buddhism, it says it dana. Practicing donation, practicing generosity. If we donate something to a person, then our mind is very pure and calm. We cultivate, we develop the loving kindness when we offer something to a person. Especially in the Asian countries, they are always ready to give something for others. But here, at sometimes it is difficult to practice because there are some rules and regulations in the society. But in Asian countries, it is easy to practice. Especially, always we are ready to offer some foods to the people who are poor, who are homeless. Then, the practicing generosity is the very special thing, very important thing. Actually, this is the door of the purification. If a person can't practice this generosity, actually, it is very difficult to practice other qualities. Not only giving something, but also you have to remove something, leave something at the moment. At this moment, you have left something. At least few hours, you have left your house. That is also dana. We can say it as generosity. If a person can't spend their time in the name of the happiness or practicing the good virtues, actually it is very difficult to practice. Now you have come some sort of step. You know, here the people who are in the USA, actually time is very useful, very valuable. Our all things depend on money. Money depend on time. Then you spend your time. It also, we can say, like generosity. Not only giving physical things, but also time also. You have donated your time in the name of the happiness. That is why you are here. Yeah.
So you said this is a door of what?
And actually this is the door of leading of purification.
There it is.
Yeah.
The door of,
The door of leading of the purification. The path of purification. The gate or door of the path of purification. When the Buddha was practicing some doctrines in the name of his Buddhahood, his enlightenment, the first step, some 10 perceptions and special qualities, dana, sila, bhavana, like that is the first good quality that he practiced in the name of the enlightenment. Yeah. The second one is not only generosity, but also these things again we discuss here. The morality. Morality means discipline in our behavior and speech. Actually, we discussed about this topic in last week, that morality means the discipline in our action and speech. If we have good discipline, we are honored, we are appreciated in the society. For example, I gave you an example. if you have confidence about a person, if a person, there is a person who never tells lies. There is a person who never steals. There is a person who never does sexual misconduct. There are three qualities there is a person who has. He doesn't steal, he doesn't tell lies, he doesn't do sexual misconduct. He doesn't do. There are three qualities that person has. What is your idea about that person?
Good person. Meritorious person.
Yeah, he is a meritorious person. Moral person, and also that person can be trusted anytime. We can give anything for him. When we go outside from our house, we can keep our keys in his house. And if we go out from our house, we can keep our children in that house because we know that person is very honest. Actually, this is the nature of the morality. This is the nature of the virtuous life. If a person spends a virtuous life, moral life, then that person is honored, trusted by the society in any place. That is very important thing. And also, if a person can practice this morality, it causes to next life, which is success as human life for heaven. If a person practice only generosity, he will have good property in next birth, but he may not have a good life. For a good life, we have to practice this morality or virtue. And also not only hereafter, but also as I mentioned you, that if a person can practice this virtue, actually it is very easy to live in the society with the people. Actually, the honesty is the most important thing when we live in the society with the people. Though we were born alone, though we will pass away, we will die alone, we have to live with the people together in the society. When we live in the society with the people, the honor and appreciation is very important. That is why we have to practice this morality. The third one is, what is the third one that we have to practice in the name of happiness? What is the next step? According to Buddhism, we say it 3 meritorious deeds. There are 3 meritorious deeds that we practice. Dana, Sila. This is in Buddha's word in Sila. Here is Dana, Sila. The next one is the meditation. Meditation means cultivating our mind, focus our mind in the meritorious deed. When we focus our mind in the good way with the good ideas, it means meditation. Then actually in the current society, many people are familiar with meditation to decrease their stress and mental problems. In the other side, every university, the students who study in every university, they practice the meditation in the name of their education, not only for their purification. All people would like to go forward with a good education and with good social foundation. That is why many people practice meditation. Actually, Buddhist meditation is different from other meditations. it has an identity. It is unique. We will discuss it in future. But here we are talking these topics in common. We are not going to deep. We are talking these topics very surface level, very common level. Step by step we can describe these all topics in deep.
So Dana, Sila,
Bhavana. In Pali it says Bhavana. In Pali, it is in Pali language. In English, generosity, morality and meditation. If we can practice these things, actually always we are happy, because actually we have a lot of mistakes in our life. Always we think those mistakes. Then our mind is weak or unpleasant. If we have done a lot of things, lot of meritorious deeds in our life, then always our those thoughts come to our mind. Then if we have practiced generosity again and again, if we practice always virtue, if we practice meditation, always we are with the meritorious deeds in our mind. Then we have no time to think other things. Yeah, if a person has no idea, if a person has no meritorious deeds that person hasn't done in this life, then he has to something to think about his bad activities. Then that is why it is said in Buddhism, if a person can do a lot of meritorious deeds, it means he has earned a lot of happiness. Yeah, collecting, earning a lot of meritorious deeds means collecting happiness. In Buddha's word, it said, Sukho punyasa uchyo. If a person has done a lot of meritorious deeds in his life, it means he lives with happiness always. That is very important thing. If you have practiced some generosity, if you are living with a good discipline, if you do meditation again and again, not only sit in meditation but also work in meditation, when we drive, when we do some work, when we study in the college, everywhere, then if we have awareness, anywhere we can practice meditation. We should have only thing that awareness or mindfulness. If we have mindfulness always, that is the qualification that we have to practice meditation. There is no special posture that we practice meditation. But at the very beginning we practice meditation sitting, but after that again and again when we practice meditation, we can practice it in any behavior, sitting, walking, sleeping and laying. Every 4 postures we can practice meditation, and then our mind is very purified. Then pure mind can give us the happiness. Most people, they think that we practice these things hereafter, for next birth. Actually, the results not only hereafter, but also in this life itself we can get the results. That is why we have to practice. When you read some discourses, there are some teachings in discourses about generosity, about morality, especially in the Majjhima Nikaya, the middle length discourses. You can listen you can read a lot of things about morality, how discipline, how we practice our speech, how we practice our discipline in the good way. There are a lot of teachings in many discourses in Majjhima Nikaya and Digha Nikaya. You can read. Then meditation, when we discuss meditation, it can be divided into 2. There are 2 meditations in Buddhism. Yeah, we discuss it. Concentration meditation and insight meditation. concentration or tranquility meditation, and insight meditation. There are 2 steps in meditation which describes in Buddhism. Then later we will discuss again it, but here we are discussing all the topics in surface level because we are describing here the summary of the Buddhism, the skeleton of the Buddhism. It is like the skeleton. Later we protect it, we develop it. The third one is how we succeed. How we succeed. Yeah, later we will discuss insight.
There it is.
Tranquility.
Those are the 2 kinds?
2 kinds of meditation, but mostly in the society they discuss only tranquility meditation or concentration meditation. But Buddhism has a unique. What is the unique? The tranquility insight meditation. Insight meditation depends on dependent origination, cause and effect, paticca. It is the very special topic in Buddhism. Now you know how we succeed in this life. For succeed this life, we have to practice these 4 steps. And also, if a person would like to become a heaven person or divine person, or if we like to come back in this life, like same life, like this human being, then we have to practice these things. And also, the next step is how we succeed our whole life. And it can describe in several ways, that especially we success of now we say it in success of this moment. Success of this moment. That is the very important thing.
Movement or moment?
Moment.
M-O-M.
M-O-M-E-N.
M-O-N.
There it is.
There it is.
Flush it together. Flush it together.
I'm sorry.
M-O-N.
M-E-N-T.
E-N-T.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, thank you. Okay, moment. Success of this moment, in this present moment. Then how we do it, that is the very important thing. This says the wisdom. Wisdom or intelligence or knowledge or awareness. There are a lot of same words in English. Wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, insight, awareness. There are many words. Especially we can use wisdom. Here, if a person would like to succeed this moment, that person should have 2 points, especially 2 qualities. Not 2, there are 3 qualities. Especially 3 qualities. You can say, what are those qualities? You can guess.
Mindfulness?
Yeah, mindfulness also important. Before mindfulness, we should have another quality. You can guess? Yeah, one of them is loving kindness. That is very important. Good, very good. One of them is, now we get these things. For the success of this moment,
Wet.
yeah.
Maybe it's wet, a little bit wet. It needs to be dried.
Yeah. Success of this moment. For that we should have pre-qualifications. Pre-qualifications. At the very beginning we should have three qualities. What they are? The first one is loving kindness. The first one is loving kindness. The second one is, you can guess.
Wisdom.
Yeah, you are correct. That one is wisdom. What is the second one? Honesty. Honesty. These are the three qualities. If you have these three qualities, you can win all spiritual games. You can defeat your all cravings, all mistakes in your life at the moment. In second, you can decrease your all bad qualities, but we should have these three qualities. The first one is we should see a person like my own child, only child. When we look at a person, we should have knowledge. This is my only son. That is the maximum level of the loving kindness. As soon as you look at a person, you can consider as your own son, then we can solve a lot of problems. When you drive on a freeway, if you can consider next driver is your own son, then you have no problem. If a person has a mistake, then you can consider that person like your own son. You have no problem. You are already you are ready to give the forgiveness. You are ready to forgive. Always.
Because you have unconditional love.
Yeah, that is the unconditional love. Yeah, that is the first. If you can practice it, actually, it is difficult to become the success of this moment. Actually, we have only this moment. Yeah, all previous things are disappears. We have only this moment. When we think our previous experience, we memorize our mind. We think about our mind. We can't go to the real experience. When you think your mom, when you think your dad, you think about your mind. You can't go to the real experience. We live only this moment. Therefore, for the success, for the happiness in this moment, you have to practice the loving kindness in the maximum level. You should have an ability to consider a person. As soon as you look at a person, you should have an ability to consider that person your own son. Then half of problems are solved automatically. Isn't? Yeah. Then second step is the honesty. How much honesty do you have? 90%? 95%? You should be honest 100%. For the success of in this life, in this moment, that is very important thing. Buddhism says it. Before the Lord Buddha was going to preach Dhamma, at the very beginning, he invited to the world to come and see his doctrines, his teaching. Actually, even though we say Buddhism, actually the teachings is not Buddha's. This is the world reality. Because he discovered the world reality, we say Buddhism or Buddha's message. Actually, this message doesn't belong to Buddha. This is the world reality. That a person who is intelligent can understand if he is intelligent. The second one is honesty. Honesty should be everywhere, not any particular place. Everywhere, every time. Then you can practice it. Then you have that qualifications to go forward, leading to the purification. The third one is wisdom. You should be wise. You should be intelligent. How we know that a person is intelligent? Before practice. These qualities are the primary qualities. When we are going to practice those things, we should be intelligent. But before practicing those teachings, at the very beginning, we should have some sort of these qualities. Not only maximum level, but also some sort of level we should have. How we know a person is intelligent?
From their behavior.
From their behavior, it is difficult to understand.
They have to feel the other person is just as good.
Some people are very sensitive. Some people can feel others' idea, emotions. But at some times they are not wise. They are not intelligent. How we know that a person is intelligent?
By whether or not they have education, economic.
Actually, at some times there are some people who have no degrees, who has no literacy. Even they can't even write their own name or address.
By their wise actions, maybe?
Wise action.
Good quality.
Those all things are good qualities.
Well, these are kind of loaded words because in English we would distinguish wisdom as different than knowledge.
Yeah, actually different. You are correct. Completely different. But we say the synonyms, but not the 100% synonym. Wisdom is very
There's a lot of people that have a lot of knowledge, but they're not very wise.
You are correct.
They're not.
Now we are describing it. Now first I told you. First I explained those things in surface level. Step by step we are going to deep. Now there are a lot of people in the world. They think when they have a degree or master degree or PhD, they think that they are intelligent. They have wisdom.
Some of them are.
But according
The
to
biggest wisdom is knowing that you don't know.
sorry.
That you don't know it all.
That you know everything. Wisdom is knowing.
Well, the first step in wisdom is to know that you don't know.
That's also. But it is
You're right.
very complicated.
Morality.
So they
Dhammagaru, you're right. There are people who have PhDs that are
Well,
educated
it's talking
fools.
about like independent
they're
origination
educated
and the opposite of ignorance. So we say that
They're not
because
wise.
ignorance is the foundation or is the whole cause of all the problems or rebirth. And
Now you have come to the topic. Actually, This wisdom depends on knowledge of dependent origination, cause and effect. If we look at something, if we consider something, if we have some experience through our eye or through our ear or through our nose or through our tongue or through our physical body, if we have some sort of experience, that experience arises in this moment. Nothing comes from previous to here. Nothing goes to future from present. This moment, suddenly it arises, suddenly it passes away, disappears. Every moment it arises, it disappears. That is the one part of the wisdom. In the other side, when you look at a person, now you think only the physical body. But as soon as you look at a person, you think a person, you memorize a person, if you think that person is not only physical body, but also mind. Those both things are together, then we say there is a person. If you like this, if you keep your hand like this, if you are sitting, even if you are sitting, if you are standing, it means you have not only physical body, but also you have mind. If you haven't mind, you can sit like this? You can't. If I haven't a mind, I can sit like this? We can't do it. We consider a person, we look at a person, we think about a person, not only that physical body, not only matter, but also mind. When both of them are together, we think there is a person. We criticize a person, we love a person, we hate a person. We never hate a person who is dead. We never love a person who is dead. As soon as the person dies, our hate and desire vanish suddenly. But if we have this knowledge, we can avoid half of sufferings in our life. As soon as if you look at a person, if you can think automatically, suddenly you can think, this is not only human, this is not only physical body, but also now the mind is activated. Then that is the another thing of wisdom. If you can think it, up to now, I think, I mentioned that most of you think only physical body when you consider a person. You forget the mind. You have forgotten the mind. But since now, try to practice this. As soon as you see a person, as soon as you consider a person, as soon as you remember a person, that is not only physical body but also the mind. Then mind and body is together. Then we say there is a person. Then if we can practice this, we don't hate the people. We have no problems. We don't fight. We don't hit other person. Why? Even though we hit the physical body, the mind is another thing. Actually, we hate the mind, but we hit the body. If a person dies, we never hit. We never jealous. But as soon as you look at a person, you have this memory, you have this wisdom or knowledge. Actually, you can reduce a lot of cravings and desire and anger that causes to your suffering in your life?
So, I'm just thinking, they talk about I think 5 steps of grieving when a person dies. There's denial, anger, I can't remember them all right now.
Please say again.
So, I've heard talk of 5 steps of grieving when someone dies.
Sadness.
If there's sadness, denial,
Acceptance is the last one.
yeah, acceptance.
But that's when you're dying
one.
yourself.
Well, it's also when somebody dies and
Yeah.
grieving
You
that
get
person.
anger.
So you have anger, denial, and so on. But if you practice these, then
Before death, we can remove the anger.
right.
Now, we will remove the anger after death.
Yeah.
But if you have this knowledge, you can practice real loving kindness.
And
You can
anger.
decrease anger before that person's death.
Okay. So before they die, you decrease the 5 steps of grieving because you now have an understanding in the right now and not the past memories or anticipate,
Yeah, actually, really we have only this moment. If we can practice this moment,
Yes.
then in this moment we are happy.
So to say I love you is to say I love you, but to say I love you right now.
Yeah, actually we can practice love. It is not a problem.
Yes.
Love is actually, it is universe. At sometimes the mother's love is actually, it is a boundless loving kindness. It is not bad.
Yes.
We can practice loving kindness. We can practice love. But if we have this knowledge, then we practice love without desire, without attachment.
Right. Okay.
We do our responsibility very well, but when they go out, we are not angry. Now we love people. When as soon as they go outside, we hate them because of no understanding, because of ignorance.
Yeah.
If we have real wisdom, real understanding, then we love all people without bound, without desire, without craving. That is the real love. Now the people love a lot. As soon as a person goes outside or going with another person, they hate, they are going to kill them. Actually, that is not the real love. If a person has this knowledge, that person who practices the real love, then for that, this is the one step actually. If we can practice these 3 things, then again and again we have to listen. Now, Mr. Mark, you can read a lot of discourses with this knowledge. Every moment you have to practice this wisdom in the leading of practicing the dependent origination, cause and effect. Then every moment we have this experience about the world through our senses. If we have some sort of experience about the world, we get that experience through our senses. We have especially 5 senses: eye, ear, nose, tongue and body. Through these 5 senses, we get some sort of experience. That experience always arises, always disappears. That is the nature.
Because if you're angry and if you were angry with someone yesterday and you realize that you're living within the moment, those conditions will never, ever arise again. The conditions will never be the same again. Because it's from moment to moment, and we're always moving into the future. And what that particular individual did to you yesterday, he or she can never do it the same way again. Because your thinking has progressed, it has advanced into the moment of now.
On the other hand, if you were angry with the person yesterday, now you can't go that experience. Now you get that experience through your memory.
The memory.
As soon as you think it, you should have a skill that now you think about your mind. Now you remind your mind, you memorize your mind. You can go to the previous experience. Now, if a person has, actually at the very beginning, we think again and again, hatred is not good, anger is not good, I have to practice it, I have to practice loving kindness. We think in the primary level. But if we have up-level knowledge, understanding, we can apply the dependent origination according to wisdom. Now you can think, now I have only this moment experience. Now previous thing in yesterday or last month or last week, all experience are vanished. Now I have only memory. Now I think my memory, my mind, that is the nature of the mind. It now arises and suddenly it also disappears. If we can think it, now we can free from suffering.
When it comes repeatedly in your mind, so dependent origination we know. How do you eliminate it completely from the mind?
Actually, when we practice it, we have to practice both things. First thing is tranquility meditation. Again and again we have to practice the samatha or concentration meditation. When you sit and meditate loving kindness, again and again you keep your mind in a particular object. And if you can keep your mind for a long time in the particular meritorious deed, then you are clever to keep your mind in a particular object. Then with the concentration mind, you have to practice, you have to apply the dependent origination. Now I have some sort of concentration, but suddenly it also disappears. And suddenly another thought comes to my mind, that is the nature. Then you can apply that understanding when you are in the tranquility meditation. In the other side, you have to think again and again inside meditation. Not only when you have problem, before the problem, you have to practice this one. Then you have real experience, then you have that real problem. As soon as you face some problems or anger or desire or something that you have some cravings, then at that moment you can apply this knowledge. Not only you practice when you have problems, before the problem. When if you want to drink some water, first of all, in our tradition it says that before you are thirsty, you have dug a well. When you are thirsty, if you are going to dig a well, it is not intelligent. That before you are thirsty, you should have water like this. Actually, before that problem, at the very beginning, you have to practice again and again. But before practicing meditation, you should have this knowledge. Without this knowledge, even though you practice for a long time meditation, but you have no results. You have some medicine, you can get some concentration, you can be relaxed, but you have no this real understanding.
So people think about past all the time and remember everything.
Remembering our previous experience is not bad. For example, when a person enlightened, he can remember not only this life, he can remember when he was in the womb. If a person can purify it, if a person has real wisdom, real this understanding, who lives in the present moment, that person has a good memory. He can remember when he was in the womb. Not only womb, he can remember his previous more than 1,000 lives.
Well, I think you need to be open to the present moment and not interpret the present moment through the past, your past experiences.
Yes.
So you can have a good memory.
Yeah.
But
Memory
as long as
is.
you're thinking, you're not here. You're somewhere in the past or the future, but you're not here.
Even though we think in our previous experience, now actually we are in the present moment.
Yeah.
But suddenly, because of ignorance, suddenly we go to previous experience. But actually we are living in the present moment. Because of ignorance, because we have no real understanding, we go to that experience. But we think our mind, we remind our mind. Because of no understanding, we go to that experience, real experience, we are suffering.
Which is why I'm here.
Yeah.
We can never have that same emotion again that we had in the past.
We can remind ourselves.
We can remind ourselves.
We can remind.
People are
Memory
constantly
is.
living in the past. They're living in the past. They're living in misery constantly, or in the future. They're not living here.
They're not.
And so I think what Bhante is saying is that we can, when we catch ourselves doing that, we can realize that that's probably not a skillful way to live, and come back to the present.
Come to the present.
Actually, remembering the previous experience or memory is not the fault. Memory is not the mistake. Fault or mistake is that when we remember our previous experience, we are going to real experience. For example, when I remember a person who blamed me, I go that experience. When he blamed me, there are many people, and he used these words to blame me. I remember all things that I faced. Then I was suffering. I am suffering. But if we have this knowledge, we can remember it. But as soon as we remember it, we can think, we can understand. Now we remember my mind, not the real experience. Then I have no feelings. I have no anger. I think it. I memorize it. But only memorizing.
I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine, and he said, well, what about if you lend someone money, and every time you see them, they don't remember that they owe you the money? How do you not remember that they owe you money? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, actually I asked, actually there are two, last week, we discussed about about truth. Truth are divided into two: conventional truth and ultimate truth.
Conventional truth, and I'm sorry.
Conventional truth and ultimate truth. Ultimate truth.
Ultimate.
Okay. Yeah.
Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, all rules and regulations in the world are dependent on conventional truth. If a person is only in the conventional truth, that person never can remove free from all suffering. If a person wishes to become the real happiness, that person has to become the next level of the truth, that ultimate truth. That ultimate truth we have to understand.
When you are being honest, should you think about what the results of your honesty might be? Say, for instance, if you are talking to a person and this particular person isn't aware of what you might feel within and you expose honesty to this person, should you concern yourself what he or she might think or their behavior? The only thing is should you just concern yourself with being honest?
Actually,
regardless of the results.
Actually, I think that the main thing is that first we should be correct ourselves. That is the first thing. We should be honest for ourselves. That is the first thing. We can correct all people who are around us. The happiness that we should have the happiness. We can't give the happiness others. Therefore, first of all, we should be honest. Then, if we have some knowledge, we can advise others. Kindly, we can give some knowledge for them. But the real happiness, that happiness is born to ourselves. That is why we have to practice ourselves in our own life. If other person is honest or whether they are honest or not, it is their job. We can correct them always, but at sometimes we can do it. But whether they are honest or not, if we are honest, it causes to our happiness. Yes. We can cover all over the world, but we can wear a shoes. Yeah. Then, if we can wear a shoes, then everywhere it is covered. Yeah, I see.
So it's just one in past memories. So if somebody is always thinking of past memories, how should you eliminate it?
How?
How should you eliminate that thoughts?
Actually, thinking past experience is not bad. As I mentioned you, that if a person is going to purify his mind, gradually when he purifies his mind, then memory is increase, not decrease, increase.
Is your question like
memory?
Like let's say that you're a mother and your child dies. How do you quit thinking about that?
Yeah, actually.
So like a sad memory that stays with you.
All memories of.
So sad things.
Good or bad comes in. So you have to forget about
I think he says you acknowledge them and then you move past them, right?
Can I say something? I've experienced my mother dying, and I used to think about her all the time and get very, very sad. I think about her all the time. I think about her all the time, but I'm not sad any longer. I think it's because I have accepted. It used to hurt me so much. And I'm from Detroit, and for a couple of years I used to go to the cemetery all the time, at least a couple times a week, I would be at the cemetery, and I sort of said, I need some relief from this, because I didn't feel good. But now I've accepted it. The memories are beautiful that I have of her, and I don't feel sad. I don't have to, like with my other sisters, I don't have to talk about her all the time, because I know she's always with me and she will always be with me. I just feel good about the time I spent. I appreciate that. I think that the time that I spent with her, I was blessed.
Yeah, actually, if we have good memory, we do our real responsibilities. For example, if our parents are living, if we know this knowledge, if we have this knowledge, actually we do our real responsibilities. Before our parents pass away, we do our all responsibilities. Not only giving food and clothes, but also we prepare some meritorious deeds that they can do. Before death, we prepare all things which causes to next birth success. Other persons who has no idea about this knowledge, they do only giving some foods or clothing. But if a person has this knowledge before their parents passing away, they prepare some things which cause to good life, good next life. Then when mother or father die, he doesn't cry. Why? He knows very well in this moment now his mother or father in the heaven for next good life. If we cry, actually we don't do our real responsibility. For example, when my mother's body is here, now if she is in the heaven, if I cry, actually I do my responsibility. I should be happy because of heaven. That is why actually if a person has good memory, that person does the real responsibilities for his parents and relatives and other persons. Actually memory should not decrease, should not be decreased. Memory should be increased. Memory is not the fault. Memory is not the fault. When you practice these doctrines, automatically your memory gradually increases. That should be happened. If you have no memory, you are ignorant. It is fault. It is delusion. When you purify your mind, gradually your memory increases. That should be happened. Some people who think we should live in the present moment, they think that we should forget previous experience, we should forget future, we should live in this moment. It is completely different from Buddhism. It is completely different. It is wrong idea. Buddhism never says that forget future, forget previous experience. Buddhism never says. Memory is not the fault. Fault is if you think something, your previous experience as alive, that is the wrong.
Oh my God. You mean
that is the wrong.
So, and you think it is alive and you act on it again, and that's wrong. Okay, I got it.
Can never be.
Right.
You're reliving it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, actually now again let's we go to these topics. Now we discuss about how we succeed. How we succeed in this life. For the success of this life, we have to practice 4 things: education, economy, health, and virtue. All 4 things should be done in the correct way, righteous way, not in the bad way. In the name of education or economy or health or virtue, we should do all things honestly and in righteous way. In the other side, we have to practice these 3 meritorious deeds in the name of success of next life. These results not only in the next birth, but also in this life itself we can get the result practicing of these 3 meritorious deeds: generosity, morality, and meditation. If we have some sort of skill that If we are clever to keep our mind always in the correct way with the good thoughts, then our mind is with happiness. If our mind is purified, it means we are happy. If our mind is wicked or unpleasant or unpurified, it means we are worried. We are sad. If a person has done a lot of meritorious deeds, If a person has done a lot of meritorious deeds, it means that person is living with a lot of happiness. Not only end of the life or hereafter. The many people who are in the world, they think that we should do good deeds. We should practice the God's message for the success of next birth. Actually, Buddhism says we have to practice these meritorious deeds not only hereafter but also in this life. Okay, now I think that we have to go. Okay, thank you for your waiting. We discussed a lot of things and thank you for your coming. I meet you again. She is my classmate who studied with me. Yeah. I am so happy. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you for your coming. I wish you all the best. And okay, see you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Try to live in present moment with happiness.
Nice to meet you. Bye, Bo. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Lindsay. I love that.
In that heart,